Hey there! Subscribe to my channel and also press this bell icon so you can get latest video notifications. And this is absolutely free.
In this video, I'm going to share my top 3 tools for creating ebooks. And the first tool is an online tool, and it's PDF Converter, and you can access it at freepdfconvert.com. And what you can do via this site is you can convert things like Excel spreadsheets, Word documents, PowerPoint, images, web pages and other things into a PDF. You simply select the files, click here and a new window will open, and you can select the files on your computer's hard drive, upload them, and then decide whether you want it to convert it to a PDF or one of these other file formats here. And you can also do it in reverse. You can convert a PDF document into, say for example, a Microsoft Word file, and you can do it all online. There are free and paid for versions. If you find you're using this quite a lot, then it's a good idea to sign up for the paid for version. Otherwise, the free version is perfectly adequate. The next tool is OpenOffice, which you can find here at openoffice.org. And there's also its sister product, which is called LibreOffice, which you can find here at libreoffice.org. And they are basically the same thing, but they are free open source office suites. Let me show you what they look like. And this is the desktop for LibreOffice, which is the software that I have on my computer. And as you can see, it's similar to most word processing software packages like Microsoft Word and so on. And it's very versatile. But the great thing about both LibreOffice and OpenOffice is you can save a document as a PDF directly from within the software. So what you have to do is to create your document, and then click up here on the toolbar, and you can export it directly as a PDF, and it saves you a lot of time, a lot of hassle and a lot of expense, because of course this software is all free. And the final tool is Google Docs, which you can access from docs.google.com, and you have to have a Google account in order to access this particular service. But if you don't have one, you can set one up. It's all free. And if you have a Gmail account, then you're automatically enrolled. And the great thing about Google Docs is everything is online. So you can access your document from any computer, anywhere, as long as it's able to connect to the internet. And you can also share documents online with other people. So if you're working on an ebook with somebody else, you can both collaborate on the same document and make your revisions, and you don't have to spend time emailing them to one another and so on. So it is very convenient. And the interface and the way that it's all set up is very similar to most standard word processing software packages, like Microsoft Word and so on. So there you go. These are my 3 top tools for creating ebooks. In this video, I'm going to talk you through the 5 big benefits of selling digital products as opposed to selling physical products. And when we talk about digital products, I'm talking about things like ebooks, apps, games, graphic designs, videos and websites, to name but a few. Now of course, one of the big advantages of selling a digital product is you have very low overheads. You don't need the investment of a bricks and mortar store, and you don't need an army of employees. You might hire a VA or someone to assist you, but you don't really need to have a lot of people. And you've got minimal production costs. After all, it's only code. And your distribution costs are tiny. You're going to have to pay for your website and your website hosting, and you might need something like Amazon S3 to handle the storage of your digital product, but you don't have to, send stuff out in the mail like you do when you have a physical product. And you don't have to handle returns. After all, it's only code, it's a digital download. You might be able to deactivate the product if somebody asks for their money back, but you don't have to physically take it back in. And finally, there are higher profit margins. Because your overheads are so low, you can actually charge a lot less for a digital product than you would for a physical product, but you can actually make more money off of the whole thing. Another advantage is you can create your own product fast. There's no lead-in time while a physical product is being manufactured. Now think about it. Now, I don't know what device you're watching this video on, but it could be on a PC, or it could be on a tablet computer or a smartphone, and that's going to take a lot of time to manufacture. There's going to be time for it to go through the production line in the factory while an army of workers put it together. Plus, of course, you've got all the R&D time that goes into it. You've got to make prototypes, you've got to test it, but you don't have all that hassle when you've got a digital product. And there's quick testing. You can get beta testers to test your digital product. They can get back to you with any bugs, and you can go through the code and you can fix it quite quickly. And it's easy to make updates and changes, as I was just saying, because you don't have a long manufacturing process. If you find a problem, you can tweak the code, put the updated version up on the web space, and start selling it almost immediately. And with a digital product, you can sell it anytime, anywhere. You're not restricted to a particular time and place. Because, of course, your website, blog, or online store is open 24/7. And people can purchase your digital product on their home or work computer, their smartphone, or their tablet device. They don't actually have to physically come to your store to make the purchase. And the customer can be in practically any country. And they can make their purchase in multiple currencies. A lot of shopping cart programs have the ability to convert from one currency to another, and so somebody can buy in their local currency wherever they happen to be. And of course, with a digital product, you're never out of stock because you're selling the same thing over and over again. So there's no need to manage inventory, and you can easily keep up with demand. As long as you've got the bandwidth and the disk space, you're good to go. And finally, there are opportunities to make more money. There are multiple distribution platforms for digital products. So for example, you could have the same product and you could sell it on your website or your blog. You can sell it on ClickBank, you can sell it on Amazon, you can sell it on JVZoo, and so on. Whereas of course with a physical product, the options are somewhat more limited. And you can put together joint ventures to make even more money, to come together to create a product that appeals both to your customers and to your JV partners' customers. And there are affiliate sales. You can recruit affiliates to sell your product for you, and you can also sell other people's products as an affiliate, other products which that your customers are going to be interested in. So there you go, that's just 5 big benefits of selling digital products. There are many, many more. Have you ever wondered how you go about getting an ebook outsourced? Well, I'll tell you the answers here in this video. And the 3 most popular sites to do this with are iWriter, which you can find here at iWriter.com, Elance, which is elance.com, and Odesk, which is odesk.com. And the way they work is very similar. Let me just talk you through the procedure for Elance because that's the one I'm most familiar with, but the other 2 sites are very similar indeed. Come to the site and click here to post your job. As it says here, it's free, so we click on there. And then if you don't already have an account, you'll be prompted to create one by filling out the information here. If you already have an account, you can click here to sign in. I have an account, so I'm just going to pause the video while I log in. And once you're logged in or you've set your account up, you can post your job. First of all, you give a name to your job. Let's say I want an ebook in the weight loss niche. I can just simply type that in. Then you can enter your description in here, and you want to go into as much detail about what you want the ebook to be about. You want to give some details about the type of length that you want it to be, and as much detail as you can. You're limited to 4,000 characters, so you can get quite a lot in here. And my recommendation would be to write it out in your word processor first and then just simply copy and paste it. So let's just sort of type something in here now. Then you select the category of the work. So you can have admin support, design, multimedia, engineering and manufacturing, finance and management, IT and programming, legal, sales and marketing, or writing and translation. Let's put writing and translation. And then you can add the subcategory. You can all the different types of writing here. Academic writing. Let's select ebooks and blogs. And then you can have the sort of skills that you want. You've got all these different skills here, or you can select skills like article writing, content writing, ghost writing. They'll put them all here for you. Then you can set the work arrangement. You can have either an hourly rate or you can have a fixed price. Probably a fixed price is be easier if you're outsourcing this sort of thing, because then you know exactly how much it's going to cost. You can select the budget. Let's say less than $500. And you can also select other options, like if you only want someone from a particular location, you can select that. How long you want the job posted for, and the start date. And then you click on continue. Then you can select your posting type. You've got featured, verified, or basic. The basic one is free, the other ones you have to pay for, and the other outsourcing sites offer similar types of categories. So let's have it as free. Click on select. Then you can preview it, and then click here to post the job. Now obviously this isn't a real job, so I'm not going to post it, but if I were, I could click on here and it would start to display on their website. And like I was saying, the other outsourcing sites work on a similar basis. So there you go. That's how to get an ebook outsourced. In this video, I'm going to talk you through how you can use the AIDA formula for writing sales letters. Now, AIDA stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. Now let's look at each of these steps individually. Okay, let's talk about getting the reader's attention. What you need to do is you need to grab the reader's attention, and you want to make it impossible for them to not continue reading the letter. And there are two parts to this, two steps that you need to take. You need a hard-hitting headline that arouses the reader's curiosity, and you need a lead paragraph that gets straight to the point. So what you want to do is you want to brainstorm headline ideas. Write down as many as possible. Don't worry about whether they're any good or not. At the moment, your emphasis is going to be on quantity rather than quality. So just write down the first thing that comes into your head that you think might be good as a headline. And then you want to narrow the list down to 3 or 4. And then use the most promising one, but keep the rest in reserve for testing purposes. Now when it comes to your lead paragraph, you want to ask the sort of questions that your reader is asking himself or herself. So you want to get inside their minds almost and you want to think, well, what are they asking themselves? What sort of questions are they asking themselves? And you want to restate that in your lead paragraph, so that when they come to your site and they read your lead paragraph, they're going to think, hey, you know, this guy or this girl, well, they know exactly what it is that I'm talking about. So that's what you want to do with your lead paragraph, to sort of draw them in. But you don't want to provide them with the answers just yet. Now the next step is interest, and there is sometimes some confusion when it comes to interest. Bear in mind, your reader isn't interested in what your product or service can do. They're interested in what your product or service can do for them. The reader wants to know, what's in it for me? So you've got their attention, you've shown that you are thinking along their lines. Now you want to get them interested in what your product or service can do for them. What's in it for the customer? And this leads naturally into forming the desire for the product. Once they have an idea as to what's in it for them, then they're going to start to desire your product or your service. Now, there are several types of desires that you can stimulate in your copy. You can stimulate the desire that they're going to have to eliminate or minimize a future loss, or to gain something. And what you should do is to provide a compelling reason why the customer should buy from you rather than buy from anybody else. And this is known as your unique selling point, which is often referred to as a USP. So you want to stress the benefits to the customer. Bear in mind, as we were saying earlier, the customer's not interested in what your product or service can do. They're interested in what your product or service can do for them. So you want to stress the benefits rather than the features. And you want to be specific about what the benefits are going to be to the customer, what they are going to get from purchasing your product or service. And you want to give clear expected results. You don't want to give generalities. So you want to tell them exactly what they are going to get once they have bought your product. Do not underestimate the importance of this step. Your success with this sales letter will stand or fall depending on what you do in this section. This is the most important section of the entire sales letter. Now we come to action, and of course the action that you want is you want to ask for the sale. Actually, I take that back. What you want to do is you want to tell the customer to go ahead and buy now. And you need to instruct them on exactly what they're going to need to do to get hold of your product. Then you want to summarize the benefits, and you want to ask for the sale again, because very few people will actually click the button first time round. So you want to instruct them how they're going to make the purchase. They'll read a bit further down, you summarize the benefits, then you ask for the sale again, and most oftentimes you'll find that it's the second button that people click on. You also want to create scarcity to encourage reluctant purchasers to make up their minds. You know, some people might think, well, yes, I'm not sure I really need this or not. But if there's a limited quantity or the price is going to go up, then that is going to encourage them to make the decision. And you want to have a guarantee to minimize the risk to the customer, so they know that if it turns out to be not what they want, they can simply get onto you and get a refund and get their money back. And you want to make the buying process as simple and hassle-free as possible for the customer. Another thing that you might want to do is to use the PS of the sales letter to restate the most important benefit or to emphasize your guarantee, and then you want to give the customer another opportunity to purchase. So there you go. That's how you can use the AIDA formula for writing sales letters. In this video, I'm going to talk you through how you can research hot topics to create an information product around. And the first way that you can do that is to browse forums in your niche and see what's being talked about. Simply do a search in Google for your niche and forum, and then take a look at the forums and see what questions keep coming up, see what people are asking, see what answers are being given. So for example, if you're in the weight loss niche, you can just simply do a search here in Google for weight loss forum, and as you can see there are over 41,900,000 results, and then just simply go through some of these forums, some of the top rated ones, and see what people are talking about and see what questions are being asked and see the answers that are being given. Another way is to use online research tools. And a few online sites you might want to look at are Google Trends. If you go to google.com/trends, it'll take you to a page like this, and you can choose from global trends or just limited to particular countries. I'm using the global trends for this demonstration. And you can see it's showing what's trending now, what people are looking for on Google. You've got the trends for the previous year. I'm recording this in March 2015, so it's got the 2014 charts here. You can explore in depth graphically. For example, here this shows global interest in Game of Thrones. It shows the trending YouTube videos, and other searches, like for example Justin Bieber versus Miley Cyrus, and so on. And you can use the information on this site to really drill down and see what people are looking for. Another site to look at is Quantcast, which you'll find here at quantcast.com. And what this does is it enables you to see the sort of audience that are being attracted by a particular site or a particular topic. What you can do is do a search in Google for a particular topic and then put the highest rated sites through Quantcast to see the demographics and the sort of statistics that this site is generating. And you can either enter a site in here or you can browse the rankings. Let's just take a look and I'll show you what I mean. For example, if you were to look at, say, babycenter.com, and you can look at data for the United States or elsewhere. Let's use the US data for this particular demonstration. You can see what its rank is. You can see how many people come to the site from a mobile device as opposed to online. You've got demographics, whether the people who visit the site are male or female, and not surprisingly for this particular site they're mostly female. You can tell their ages, they're mostly 25 to 34. They have kids, which would be, as one would expect. You have details about their income, their education, their ethnicity, their voting intentions, and how active they are in the US. So you can then tailor your product to meet this particular demographic. And finally there's Amazon.com movers and shakers, and you can see which particular items are increasing in popularity, and you can go through all sorts of things. This is toys and games, or cameras and photos, video games, and so on. And you can do things like clothing or books, and you can see, for example, the latest Harry Potter is up 20,000 compared to previously. So it gives you an idea as to the sort of thing that people are looking for right now. You can also look at products that have already sold well, and there are a few sites that you can look at that will get you this information. The first one is JVZoo, which is jvzoo.com. And if you come here to Marketplace and click here on Top Sellers, and it takes you to this page, and you can see it lists all the top sellers today. If I scroll down a bit more, the top sellers yesterday, and over the past 7 days, and the past 30 days. And what you can do is click on the link, take a look at them, see what they do, and see how you can come up with something that might be a bit better or offer something that this particular product doesn't do. Another good site to look at is ClickBank, and if you come to clickbank.com and click on the marketplace link, it'll take you to this page. And in some ways this is actually easier to find products than it is on JVZoo, because you can actually drill down by category. So let's say, for example, you're putting together a product in the weight loss niche. You can come down here to categories, click on health and fitness, which is the closest one for weight loss, and then you can sort the products by various things, by popularity and the average sale and so on. For research purposes, it's best to keep it at popularity, and then you can go through and you can look at all the various products. If you click on the link here, it'll take you through to the website and you can have a look and see what's on offer. Another thing that you can do, and this is often overlooked, is to research offline. And a good way to do that is to look at the magazines that are produced for a particular niche. Now, a good way to find out which magazines are popular is to come to this site here, magazines.com, and then you want to choose a category. Click here where it says all categories, and following on from our weight loss or health and fitness example from earlier, if you click health and fitness and then sort them by best sellers, click on that, and now you can see the top best-selling magazines in this particular niche. Now, you don't want to order these through this website because this is for subscriptions, and it's only for subscriptions in the US. However, what I recommend you do is you make a note of these titles, say the first half a dozen titles or so, and then go down to your local newsstand or your local news agency and buy a copy. Buy a copy of each of them. And then what you want to do is you want to go through and have a look at what they're talking about in these magazines. Look at the articles, what the articles are being written about, look at the editorial section and see what's being written about. Go to the letters to the editor section if there is one, and see what people are writing into the editor about. And bear in mind that anything that gets published in a magazine is going to be topical and it's going to be popular, because, you know, it costs a lot of money to print and distribute a magazine. So obviously the publishers want to make sure that their content is top-notch, and you can use that to your advantage when you're doing research for your product. And another good source of information is your local bookshop. Go down to your local bookshop, your local bookstore, you know, down at the mall or wherever, and take a look at their non-fiction titles. And in particular, if your local bookstore is like mine, they'll probably have a selection of bestsellers, probably near the door somewhere. And you can go through and look at the topics that are very popular, that publishers are publishing books about, and you can look through those and come up with lots of ideas. So there you go. These are some very useful ways that you can research hot topics and then create a product about. In this video, I want to tell you about 5 types of information products that you can create, and you can create these very quickly and very easily. Now, the first type of information products are tips. Tips or ways of doing something. And this is probably the easiest type of product to create, because basically it's just a list with an introduction. And you can simply write it out in your word processor, save it as a PDF, and voila, you have an ebook. And the great thing is that once you've created one ebook, you can easily create another, and another, and another, and the list just goes on and on. Another easy type of product to create are how-to products. And these can be written with illustrations, or they can be videos. And they're very popular because they provide the customer with answers that the customer wants now. You know, if you want to know how to do something, you want to know how to do something, and you don't want to know how to do something next week. You want to know how to do something right now at this very minute. And you know, there's practically an unlimited range of topics. You know, it can be software training, like how to create a WordPress blog. It can be weight loss, like, you know, how to lose 10 pounds in 2 months. It could be to do with internet marketing, like how to get 1,000 sign-ups to your mailing list, and the list just goes on and on and on. In fact, one of the most popular how-to videos of recent years has been how to tie a tie. And then there are reports. Now, reports are shorter than ebooks, and they contain useful information with a narrow focus, and they can be free or paid for. In fact, a free report makes a great giveaway to help you build your list. And then there are blueprints or plans. Now, a blueprint or a plan is more detailed than a how-to product, and they give step-by-step instructions. And they're also organized in a very easy to follow manner, so somebody can follow the steps and achieve a recognized outcome. And finally, there are case studies. Now, case studies are real-life examples, and they demonstrate what works and what doesn't. Now, case studies are usually written, and they're authored by someone who has experience and can be regarded as an expert. And any one of these products can be created in a very short period of time. In this video, I want to go through the common characteristics of best-selling digital products, and these are things that the top-selling digital products all have in common. Now, the first thing that they have in common is their release is timely. They're what the market is looking for right now. Because, you know, if you hit the market too late, you'll find that most people who were looking for a product like you're selling have probably already got one, and so you're going to miss out on the bulk of sales. But hitting the market too early can be even worse, because you're going to spend all the time and all the effort and all the money getting this product ready. You put it on the market and it bombs, and somebody else comes along, sees your product, tweaks it a bit to make it more market friendly, hits the market at the right time, and boom, they go on to make a mint. So getting the timing just right is one of the key characteristics of successful products. And the price is right, and this is of crucial importance. You have to charge what people expect to pay. You have to charge what people consider to be a fair price. If your price is too high, people are going to think it's too expensive. They say it's not really worth the money that he or she is asking for it, and they'll pass it by. But if the price is too low, then people are going to think that the quality must be inferior or that there must be a catch. So you have to get the price just right, and that is what the best-selling products do. Another thing that best-selling digital products have in common, and it ties in with the last point, is that the quality is good. You know, customers feel that they're getting value for money. And purchasers feel so good about the product that they'll happily recommend it to others. And this is generally in the form of unsolicited testimonials. And an unsolicited testimonial is worth considerably more than a solicited one. So if somebody of their own volition emails you to say, wow, I've just bought your product, it's absolutely fantastic, and it's done this, that, and the other, and I'd happily recommend it to my family and friends, then that is really worth its weight in gold. And this is the sort of thing that some of the best-selling products have. They have a lot of people who are absolutely overwhelmed with the quality. They think that the quality is so good that they can't help but become evangelists for the product. And they have an army of affiliates to sell this product. They have a trusted affiliate program, either via a third party like ClickBank or JVZoo, or one that's hosted on their own site. But it is a trusted affiliate program, so that people who sign up to the affiliate program can be absolutely certain that if they make a sale, they're going to get the commission, that you are actually going to pay them what they are due. and they have a competitive rate of commission as well, so it's worth their while recommending this product to their list. There may be an affiliate contest, and they have super affiliates on board who are going to get the product in front of thousands and thousands of people who are looking for just this particular thing. And finally, the buying experience is a pleasant one. It's easy to take payments, you can do it online, you don't have to send off a check in the mail. There's instant delivery, so once someone has actually bought the product, they can get it right away. There's a long, no quibble money back guarantee, so there's no risk to the purchaser. And finally, there's after sales support, so in the unlikely event that there is a problem, they know that there's someone that they can call on to sort it out. So there you go, these are the common characteristics of best-selling digital products. If you make sure that your product has them, then you can't go wrong. In this video, I'm going to talk you through how you can add a product in JVZoo. Okay, log into JVZoo and go to the seller's dashboard, and you can see a nice big orange button here that says add a product, it's free. Click on that. It takes you through to this page, and there is a video on this page which goes into quite a lot of detail about how you set this up, but I'll just run through it really quickly. Now, first box here is your basic information, and you can check the radio buttons here for whether or not to allow sales. If you check no, then your product will not be available for sale. And this means that actually you can work on setting all this up without your product being live, so you can go through and tweak it and change it before you actually allow sales. Whether you want it shown in the marketplace, yes or no, it's a good idea to have it in the marketplace, because then that allows you to recruit lots of affiliates to sell the product for you. And you have the launch date and time, and you can set this as far in advance as you like, really. And it's a good idea to set your launch date at a time in the future, because that gives you time to recruit affiliates and to do your pre-launch and everything like that. It's always set in Eastern Standard Time for the United States, so you'd need to work out what your local time would be if you're outside the US. And as it says, the product would not be visible in the marketplace until this time. Then you enter your product name in here and the currency that you're going to sell it in. By default, it's set as the US dollar, and it's best to leave it at that setting. The US dollar is of course the currency of international commerce, but if you're launching a product for a particularly local audience, then there are other currencies that you can choose from. You can have the Australian dollar or the euro, Japanese yen or pound sterling. Then you enter your product price, and this is the maximum price if it's going to be on a dime sale, and I'll explain about dime sales in a moment. And if it's a recurring payment, then you would enter in the recurring payment in here. Then you would enter your commission payout percentage. That's the amount that you're going to pay your affiliates. And if it's a subscription or it's a multiple payment, then you would check that box, and this opens another window with some further options. Then you've got the quantity. Now, for most digital products, you'll want to leave this empty, because after all, digital products are unlimited. However, if you are, say, having a membership site or a coaching program where you want to limit the number of participants, then you could enter that information in there. Next box is the support email address, and this is the email address that people can use to contact you if they have any problems. Or if you have a help desk, you would enter the URL in there so that people can contact your help desk. Then you have your landing page, also known as sales funnel, squeeze page or pre-launch. And this is the page that you'll want to send traffic to before your product gets launched. And you can use this to build up an early bird list so people can go there, sign up and get information, and you can notify them about when the product goes live. You can use it to recruit affiliates and so on. One thing that you'll also want to do is to check this button, yes, to send all traffic to the sales page after the launch date and time. So basically, before your product goes on sale, all the traffic will go to here, and then afterwards it'll go down to your sales page. And this can be either an externally hosted page, or it can be a JVZoo instant sales page. Most people will use an external sales page URL, which is basically the sales page on your website. There is a video about JVZoo instant sales pages actually on the JVZoo website, so I'm not going to go into that in this video. Pass the affiliate ID to your sales page. If you have your sales page set up that way, then you can use it to pass that information on. Generally, you want to keep that checked to no. WF backup sales page URL. This is an alternative URL where sales could be sent if the Warrior Forum goes down. Then you've got the delivery method, and you can have either a protected download or a thank you page. It's a good idea to have a protected download because that means that JVZoo will actually host your product for you. And if you've got something like, say, a video product that's going to take up a lot of bandwidth, then it's a good idea to avail yourself of this service. Then we have the return period, and you can set the number of days. As a rule of thumb, the longer you set this, the less likely you are to get returns. You can check this box to make it eligible for product of the day, and it's a good idea to do that because then you can enter it into this contest, and if it's picked as product of the day, then they will tell a lot of affiliates and people about your product, so it's a good idea to check that. Then we've got the affiliate approval, and you can either have manual approval, auto approve, or no affiliates allowed. They recommend that you set it to manual approval, and that's a good idea, and it's best to leave it at this default setting because that stops you from being scammed, really. Then you have your affiliate terms and requirements and notes to affiliates and your custom receipt info, and this is all fairly self-explanatory. It's HTML enabled, and what you can do is write everything out in your word processor and then copy and paste it in here. When you archive a product, you actually delete it, so it's best to keep that as no as long as your product is on sale. A couple of other things that I'll just show you over on the other side here. First of all, here is make a dime sale. There is a video about dime sales, but I'll just explain it very quickly. Basically, you start off with a start price, and you can increase it by a certain amount every so often. So let's say you start with a start price of, say, $9.99, and you increase it by 10 cents every 10 sales. Then it will keep increasing by 10 cents every 10 sales up until you get to this maximum price. So that's how it works. You've also got things here like autoresponder integration. You can integrate your GetResponse or SendReach or Aweber accounts in with this. There's also webinar integration and so on. Now once you've got everything set up, you can click on this button here to save product, and you can basically get the ball rolling. Your product won't actually show until your launch date and time, but after that you'll be able to start driving traffic and making sales. Be sure to check the yes radio button once your product is ready to go live. And just another thing to mention here, and although JVZoo say that this is free, it is sort of, because they don't charge you anything up front, but they do take a 5% commission out of every sale. So there you go, that's how you can add a product in JVZoo. In this video, I'm going to talk you through how to install WordPress onto your site. There are two ways that you can do this, And the easiest way is from your web hosting control panel. Now, this particular account that I'm installing WordPress on has cPanel hosting, so I've logged into cPanel. If you have a different type of hosting package, then your control panel might look a bit different. And if your website hosting package comes with either Fantastico or Softalicious, then the installation process is very straightforward indeed. Some other hosting packages come with their own proprietary control panel, which does also include an installation button for WordPress, like I'm going to demonstrate here. Okay, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here, because this particular hosting account comes with Softalicious, and I'm going to select WordPress. So I click on there. It takes me through to this page, and when I select the Install tab, then you can start to see all the information that you need to enter in. You can choose the protocol, so if your site has a security certificate, you can choose between HTTP and HTTPS. I'm going to leave it at the default settings. You can choose a domain, so if you have a subdomain, then you can add it on here. You can choose the directory. By default, WordPress will set things up in the WP directory. However, if you want to have it in the root directory, then just simply delete that. It'll give you the database name and the table prefix. You can change these if you want. I'm going to leave it all at the default settings. Scroll down a bit further. Then you give the site a name and the site a description. Because this is just a demonstration video, I'm going to leave these at the default settings, but normally I would put the proper site name and description and so on in there. Then you want to add the administration account. By default, it will set it up as admin. Personally, I would change this because hackers know that most WordPress blogs have the admin username as admin. Because this is just a demonstration, I'm going to leave it at admin. Password you need to enter in. Let's put something in. Actually, you can click here and generate a random password, although you should be certain to copy and paste that onto your computer's clipboard and then save it as a text file, just so that you know exactly what it is and you don't find yourself locked out of your account. You've got the admin email. It'll set it at admin at your domain by default. I'm going to leave it at this setting. You can set the language. It'll set it as English by default, but you can have all sorts of other different languages if you're in a non-English speaking country. Limit login attempts. That's always a good thing to have, because if a hacker tries to attack your site and tries to make its way into the dashboard, then you can limit that and it'll lock them out after a certain period of time. And then you can set the themes. As it says, this is optional. If you don't select it, a default theme will be installed. And then all you do is come down to the install button, and you can have it email installation details to an email address, and I recommend that you do that, because then it's going to have a reminder of what the username and the password is. I'm actually going to skip that because I've got it copied. So now click on install. Let's just go at the top there. And there we go. You can see that it's now been installed. And if I go to the site, you can see it's installed this installation of WordPress. So what do you do if you can't install WordPress from your web hosting control panel? Well, it is actually quite simple. First of all, you want to come to wordpress.org. Be sure to come to wordpress.org, not wordpress.com. and then click the button here to download the software. You can download it either as a zip file or a tar file. At the time that I'm making this video, the most recent version is version 4.1.1. So download this to your computer's hard drive, and then what you need to do is to click here where it says we've created a handy guide. So let's click there, where they will talk you through exactly what you need to do to install WordPress manually. And as they say, it's the famous 5-minute install. It only takes 5 minutes to install this. You'll need some FTP software to install this on your server. And the best one that I know of is FileZilla, which you can download from filezilla-project.org. And this is a free FTP client, and it's very, very easy to use. So there you go. That's how you can install WordPress onto your site.
Hey there. Subscribe to my channel and also press this bell icon so you can get latest video notifications. And this is absolutely free.